Hey everyone, it's Life, Love, and Lipstick with Tracy and Leslie. Hey Leslie, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well today, Tracy. How are you doing?
Good, good. Another week. It's Tuesday.
Mhm.
Oh, time change?
Yes, that one threw me for a loop this year. What about
Yeah,
you?
I know. Yeah, like with that first day, I kind of like felt like the whole day was just gone. That was it. Like
Yep.
the time was just flying by.
Yes, I agree with you. I kind of forgot about it. I went into it, thought I will remember. And of course, you wake up and your phone has changed for you. And
Yeah,
then you look at your stove and then you're confused. And then you realize why you're so tired that you just went through the time change. So,
yeah.
uh,
Not
yeah,
much to say about the first day. And then of course sleeping. I don't know, I've been tossing and turning. I
me
can't
too.
get sleep. I don't
Me
know what
too. I don't know if there's certain waves. I mean, you and I have had this discussion. We're actually going to have a guest coming up on our show soon. We're going to talk about hormones because a lot of times hormones are at play with both males and females at all different ages, and it can affect our sleep big time.
Oh, yeah, I'd hate to admit it, but I have a feeling it may be hormones.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Oh, man, I didn't wanna go there, but we will, and we'll hold on for that topic, but
We
in the
will.
meantime, we have a jam-packed show
We do.
where we're talking about J.Lo, A-Rod coming up after the break. Oh, boy, I don't
Mm,
even know where to start with this one, but,
I
let's
know.
our
I
top.
guess, were you surprised?
No, no,
Like,
not at all.
I don't know why I felt like I kind of was a little bit surprised, but we can talk about that.
We'll talk about that after the break. Stick
We
around,
will.
guys, we'll be right back. We're back with Life, Love, and Lipstick with Tracy and Leslie. Hot topic, Jennifer Lopez. Oh my gosh, A-Rod, I have a love-hate relationship for that man. I don't know what it is. I don't like him. I'm going to admit it again. I'm not shocked that there were reports on Friday that the two of them have called off their engagement almost to the day of their 2-year anniversary of
Right.
the engagement.
Mhm.
But then now we have reports saying that they're just on a break or they're not single. They're together. But I don't know. I think they're done. I think she is done with him. What do you think, Leslie?
So that's the thing. So have you, along the way, were you hearing that he was cheating on her? Like, I heard rumors,
Yes.
but I wasn't sure if it was real, if it was true.
The last couple years, there's been a lot of allegations with other
Mhm.
females in his life and
Right.
some cheating. And then, of course, we can't forget about Jose Canseco and all his allegations that he has and all the tweets about warning J Lo to stay away from him.
That's
So
right.
which his tweets have been hilarious the last couple days. He's, "Good morning, Jennifer. You need a real man. You need one
Oh,
that's not going to break your heart." Oh, yeah.
ouch,
Yeah.
ouch, ouch, ouch.
So, there's been a lot of reports that
Mhm.
he is that guy. He has been known to be that guy. He is a
Yeah.
narcissist. He is so
Yeah.
full of himself.
Yes. You can
Um,
see that for sure. You can see that in him.
yeah, and then she released that Sunday brunch playlist over the
Yes.
weekend.
Yes.
Mixed messages. It was almost so to me, I took it
Mhm.
as the reverse pity party. You know, when you go through a really bad breakup
Mhm.
and you're feeling really down about yourself, I felt like hers was a big, "Hey, look at me. I don't need you."
Yeah, I'm a powerhouse. I don't need.
Yeah,
She doesn't. She doesn't. I mean, she doesn't need him
she
at
doesn't
all.
need him at all. But then he's saying that he is not single. So you have to wonder, Leslie, is this that type of relationship where she calls it off because she's done with him? And he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh no, please, I love you. I'll change." And he doesn't want to give up.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think what's interesting about the whole thing is that yeah, they're these big superstars, but they're also just human beings. And the one common thing that we've heard in the last year with this pandemic is a lot of people were getting cabin fever with their partners. Now,
Yes.
remember, with them both being powerhouses and being so busy, maybe they were better together when they're not together that often. If they're both doing their thing and they can call each other their partners, but they're not around each other that much. When you get around somebody too often and you're not used to it, well, it was making or breaking relationships for everybody this past year, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. We called it the big quarantine deal. A lot of people got
Right.
divorced. They got
Right.
dumped. People, as you said, we were together for so long. We never had that together time in that amount, in that
Right.
quantity of time, right? So
Right.
I don't know. They seem to have been having a really good time when you follow them on social.
I know. That's what I thought. That's why I was kind of surprised by the whole thing. I thought maybe they were getting through it, but again, it's all just smoke and mirrors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he is very full of himself. He loves himself. I mean, when
Totally.
you say that, am I shocked? Maybe slightly, because if you think
Mhm.
about just a few months ago, they were trying to buy the baseball team,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Or was it her, oh, honey, I'll buy you this to make you happy if
Right.
you'll love me and make me the only one. I don't
Right.
know. But supposedly
Mm.
they had 2 weddings planned, each one of them lavish weddings, because there wasn't gonna be no small wedding for the 2 of them.
Not no, she's girly girl girl, so no way.
Yeah, and each one of them,
Mhm.
they didn't do it. They went into couples therapy.
Mhm.
So,
And they also were going to buy a property together, right? They were going to buy a house, this
yeah,
massive mansion or something. And that's when they said, I guess their friends kind of got tipped off when that fell through. Their friend said, that doesn't smell good.
yeah. So
Right.
he is a classic narcissist, okay?
Yeah.
Every female has come across one, maybe two, and if you're lucky, that's all that you attract. Put your hands up in the air, ladies. Yes. You're double fisting it this time.
How many times have people Googled narcissist and
Yeah.
really looked it up again and again and again to really define what that term means? Because they want to know if the person they're around could be a friend, again, could be a spouse, partner, whatever. But you really want to say, oh my gosh, yes, and yes, and yes, tick the boxes, right?
Yes, and some of us are blind to the red flags.
Yes.
We like to be amused, like Six Flags amusement park. We don't know what these flags are because we've seen it so many times that
Yeah,
you become blind to it because it's like, no,
totally.
a narcissist is not going to get me this time. There's no way.
Right.
But he is to a T,
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And when you look at Jennifer Lopez, she looks incredible. She's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Again, we don't know what she's like behind closed doors,
No,
but they look like the perfect couple.
they do. They're
Yeah.
both so like, I mean, again, you can't go by just attractive, but they're both such a beautiful, attractive couple. And
Yeah.
again, these strong, fit, healthy, wonderful appearing, wonderful people. But yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, how
Going
difficult
on.
could she be to live with? I mean, she's a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
She's headstrong as far as business. I think she is somewhere, he is somewhere else. They're not definitely together.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, their relationship from day one,
Mhm.
not perfect, not perfect.
No,
And
no.
you throw in some kids into the mix.
Oh yeah, because they blended their families too.
Yes, because
That's
he's a
another
girl.
twist. What? Not always easy,
I don't
right?
know, but I really feel like looking at her posts the last couple days,
Hmm.
Jennifer has her power back. And that is her message to people. Like, don't feel sorry for me. I mean, she says at the end of the playlist, it says the word dumb. So is she calling media dumb? Is she calling him dumb because he is saying, I'm not single? We're together still. So is she saying, hey, you're kind of dumb, A-Rod. Like, I broke it off with you.
Yeah. Like I'm single, so you are too.
Yeah. So I
For
don't
sure.
know what she's trying to put out there, but
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
feel like she's doing the reverse pity party. As I said, I
Yeah.
feel like she's got her power back, and he's the guy. He is the guy that is. I'm sure we've all come into contact with this guy. You
Mm.
know, the married one, the taken one that is 100% taken.
Uh-huh.
Then you have the married single guy,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Who is the I'm taken in private, but
Right.
publicly I look single.
Right.
Yes. There's different types of what people will classify themselves as being single.
Oh yeah.
Comes to men.
Oh
Hide
yes.
it.
Yes.
A-Rod couldn't hide this, but there were so many women that did not care.
That's the thing, Tracy, I was going to say, because obviously he is a public figure. So people would know he's with J-Lo. So, but unfortunately, and it goes both ways, sometimes people just don't care. And they'll, like, I remember when I was married, people would come up, and I'm sure you've had this too. And they're like, they grab my hand, they'd see that I had a ring on my finger. Oh, you know what? I'm better than him. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, or like in the type of females that were going after A-Rod are probably thinking, "Oh yes, he's definitely going to leave J-Lo for me."
Right.
Oh, yeah. And then be the girl that's like, "Well, he left Jennifer Lopez for
Yep.
me."
I won.
Yeah. Like, what did you win? You won a jerk.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Keep
I
up.
mean, most likely he's going to do it to you too, because that's the pattern of behavior with people who do that stuff,
Yes.
right?
his pattern, same thing. If you look up his relationship timelines, there's always been an allegation of A-Rod. I mean,
Uh,
he cheated in the game of baseball.
well,
It is
yeah.
a pro sport. What makes you think he's not
Yes.
going to cheat on a female?
Right. And that's, you know what, that's a good point too. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And that can go in all areas of your life. Like if you are capable of lying and cheating in one area, generally you can blur the lines and go over to another part of your life too.
Usually that's the way that it looks. I mean, we all have friends where you're sitting around, you're listening to their stories, or they're listening to our stories or whomever. And there's always that story where you're like, how did you not see this?
I
Did
know.
you really think that you were going to change him?
Mhm.
Like,
But you know what, Chase, as you mentioned, I think a lot of people that are listening to this right now can relate. When, as you mentioned, when we're in something, sometimes you're so far in, you cannot see it for what it is. You have to be so far out of it before you really start to piece it together and say, and that's why you're like, why was I so dumb? But it's
yeah.
because you can't see it when you're in it
Or
sometimes.
you're afraid to look like you're a failure. Like,
That's true.
great. Again, look
Yeah.
at my failed relationship as a female. You're like, oh man, why can't someone just love me? Why can't
Yeah.
it just be me? Why is it that there
Mhm.
has to be someone else?
Yeah.
And then you realize, which you have to realize at some point,
Yeah.
maybe it is not the female. Maybe it really is the guy.
Yeah.
And I think that for a lot of females, they don't want to feel like they have failed again.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like they
Yeah.
didn't.
I agree. And I think a lot of times we put it on ourselves and we're like, what did we do? What did I do wrong?
Yeah,
What was, and it's so unfair because sometimes, you know what, you didn't do anything wrong.
no.
Some people just aren't loyal and that's on them. It's not on you.
And then you look at the women that they cheated on with.
Right.
Oh my God, they downgrade.
What? Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't want to go there.
They downgrade, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm
You
sorry, but
try to see it. And then you just, you know what, there's no making sense of it. There's no rhyme or reason.
yeah. And maybe in A-Rod's situation, maybe he just realizes that he doesn't deserve Jennifer Lopez, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
And it's better for him to aim low than to
Mhm.
aim high. Like there's a lot of us that are
Yes.
goals high because it's like, you know what? I just want to accomplish them and I want the bare minimum.
Yes.
I don't know, but
That's
yeah.
a good one. That's a good thought. I think there are people in relationships that are like that. They almost feel sort of inferior to their partner, so they'd rather feel like they're the one
Mhm.
above. So they trade them in for somebody that maybe,
Yeah.
isn't quite
I,
there.
I don't know. This one's a hard one to make sense of because, as we said, there's a lot of stuff coming out saying they are together, they're not together, they took a break,
Mhm.
but all of a sudden they are coming public about
Mhm.
their therapy that they were in.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Everything just looked so perfect.
Yeah,
I know that that's such a cliche, right? Like it
I
looks so
know.
perfect looking
I know.
in.
I
I
know.
don't know.
But you know what? As you said, I mean, they're both strong personalities.
Yes.
So I can't see either one of them backing down in any kind of disagreement. So I could see her. She would put her foot down to him for sure. Like she would definitely not be a wallflower. That girl.
Well, that could be true. Or the strong woman that looks strong on the outside,
True.
behind closed doors, you're just like, oh my gosh. And maybe there was jealousy involved in this because her career
Mhm.
compared to his,
Mhm.
maybe he was feeling a little, less than.
Yeah,
Hence,
and she's like smoking hot, and maybe he can't handle that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like smoking.
she is incredible. And she's got the new skincare line
Yes.
that came out. And
Mhm.
I think that I want to invest in it because I'm like, if I can look like her, I'm
I know.
so in on this.
Skin is so dewy and glowy.
And she said that she has not had any work done to her face because she did have a lot of allegations lately that she had Botox and a bunch of stuff. And who cares if she tweaks a little?
I know who cares about that though. I mean, if you're doing really, it doesn't even matter if she went for full facial surgery. That's nobody's business. Who cares? She's a beautiful, gorgeous girl.
She's
So
like what, 51 now?
yeah.
And I believe, and A-Rod's a little bit younger. There is an age difference.
I forgot. I was thinking he was the same age as her, but he is a
No.
little younger, is he?
Yeah.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like
Who
he
knows?
scored big time. Make it work.
I know. I know. Especially
But
when she dances and sings.
oh my gosh, she makes 50 look incredible that I honestly cannot wait.
I know. I'm like, goals. I'm like, I
Yeah.
see that in her, and I'm like, that's amazing. that's it. Jennifer Aniston's another one.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, she's adorable. Like, she's a beautiful girl, like very unique individual. And she's just, I think in general, most women love her.
Yeah, and they make aging look good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think back a couple of years ago, like even 5 years ago,
Yeah.
nobody wanted to admit how old they were. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm turning 40, I'm turning 50," because they were so afraid to admit how old they are. But now we're like, yeah, guess how old I am?
Yes.
We want to show it off.
I like that. And I know that, you've mentioned that before, Tracy, on our show. We don't want to, even go there with age, because we want everybody to feel comfortable to be a guest on our show or to watch or listen to our show, because we'll cover everything, and everything has, it's all just about life and living, and anybody can listen. This whole age gap, my parents have taught me that, in particular my mom growing up, is that, age it doesn't mean anything. It's how you feel from the inside. You take care of yourself the best that you can, and you can hang out with people 40 years older or 40 years younger. It doesn't matter, right? It's just,
Yep, 100% agree with that. Now, I definitely want our listeners to chime in on this conversation. And I would like to hear a guy's perspective as far as these, the cheating that men do. And why do you downgrade? Like, why? What is the reason for this? And do you do you believe that Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod, that it's completely done? Or were they just maybe throwing us for a loop because they haven't been in the headline for a while? Or they just said, you know what? Hey, Harry and Meghan, that's it. Your time's done. It's our time.
Yeah, stole our limelight.
Yeah. Does she have a new album coming out or anything? A new movie?
She is. She's shooting right now. She's actually in Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Right, shooting a movie. So there could be a little attention around that. You never know.
Yes. I believe in this one, I think she's getting married. Is she not?
Oh, okay. I don't know the premise
There
of
was
it.
something going on with something that she was doing, and she was playing like a bride, but I know. Okay, so now this could go either way. They're either together, they're just using it as a headline, they're taking a break, or she just said, listen, get out of my life. I'm so done with your BS.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I love you. I've realized I've screwed up.
Yeah.
You know, that guy, grass. He thinks the grass is always greener on the other side.
I don't know where he's finding greener grass than J-Lo, but
and then realizes it was just fake grass and it doesn't grow.
Oh yeah. I wonder how many people have done that, and it's too late. So hopefully we'll see. I guess time will tell with these two. I would love for it to work out, because I just always like to see people. I like to see real love and happiness, but I don't know. I think it's tough.
Real love, or was it just an illusion?
Yeah, might not have been.
I don't know. Well, we're definitely going to be talking a little bit more on this topic. And hey, guys, don't forget, go to our Instagram, chime in on the post, and let us know what your thoughts are. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick break. Hey, welcome back to Life, Love, and Lipstick. Yep, it gets a little heated sometimes when you talk about relationships. And that one is a trigger. I'm not going to lie. That whole J-Lo, A-Rod situation is a trigger for me. So
I think it is for both of us. We have some similar situations that have happened to us. So
men, and that would be a continued conversation here at Life, Love, and Lipstick. Oh yeah.
It's going to pop up every once in a while when you least expect it.
Don't worry. I'm on my best behavior today.
Okay.
I think maybe still lots of time left in this show.
I don't know if we can ever guarantee that, Tracy.
I know. I can't even guarantee myself. So we're going to talk about Britney Spears, and I think a lot of us relate to this. It's the big Free Britney movement. Crazy over social media. Everybody wants to free Britney. We are getting, docuseries and stuff about her relationship with the father and what's really going on. But when I say, can we relate to her, I'm going to take this back to the 2007 Britney Spears. That moment when you break, you snap.
She snapped.
She snapped.
Shaved her head. I mean, I think for us, because she was like the ultimate, it was like femininity, right? I mean, I was going back. I was just showing videos to my mom of her dancing back in the day, back when she first launched, and oh my gosh, she was so adorable and she's talented. And then to see somebody like that, and especially younger, the youth looking up to her, and then to see that breaking point where she was so angry too. It's really
I
sad.
don't even know if angry is the word. I mean, I know for myself, I have been in that mind frame.
Mhm.
I mean, some people can relate to it, some people will admit it, and some people won't, and that's fine.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I have been in that mind frame where you are just overwhelmed, like you are at breaking point.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes I'll say, if someone says, "How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, how am I feeling? I'm feeling 2007 Britney Spears right now." But I mean, in a way, empowering that when you could just shave your head.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to sometimes and just be like, I'm starting over.
That's a big move, Tracy.
Don't know what would happen when it grows back.
Ooh, that's a terrible grow out. That's way worse than cutting your bangs, girl.
Exactly. I know. I know. It will come back a whole different color. Could come
Oh,
back extremely curly. And you know what? It may not even
oh,
come back.
might not.
But I feel like when that relatable moment,
Mhm.
because she just like she literally had a huge meltdown.
Mhm.
And the only way for anybody to take her seriously, she
Mhm.
had to shave her head. Like
Mhm.
she
Mhm.
knew exactly, okay, nobody wants to listen to me. This is it. I'm doing it.
Well, she
Um,
become a mockery at that point in the media too. They were just taking her out, right? I mean, it was just so sad. And I think that's why. I mean, you can tell she's a sweet girl. You can see it
Mhm.
in her. She's this Southern belle, right? She's a sweet little thing. And
Yep.
they were just attacking everything about her. And she's like, this isn't even true, right?
She can't do right.
No.
Even when she had her babies. I don't know if there was
Right.
that one picture of her. I believe she wasn't wearing any shoes. She was going into a public bathroom holding onto her baby. And then
Mm,
she was driving away with the baby in the front seat, one of
yes.
because she was getting away from
Right.
paparazzi,
Right.
right? And of
Right.
course, everybody, that's it. You know what? Brittany's a bad mom.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
Just
then, what was her husband's name at the time?
Federline.
Yeah, Kevin
Kevin
Federline.
Federline.
Yeah, I mean, not there wasn't a huge love for him and that whole relationship. So, obviously she was with Justin Timberlake at one point, right? So, I mean, they were like the golden couple then, and then she ends up kind of going over to Kevin Federline, and I think people
Well,
just love it.
now Timberlake did just recently come out and apologize to her for the
Hmm.
way that he had treated her.
Yeah,
He was getting with Jessica at the same time. But
yeah,
when you look at Kevin Federline and Britney Spears, again, that need to be loved,
yes.
that whole just love me and I'm going to settle for this, knowing that she probably knew deep down, this guy is not for me, but I
No.
want to be loved by somebody.
He was one of her backup dancers, right? I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Right.
actually, J-Lo hooked up with one of her background dancers too,
I know. I know
right?
it does happen, right? I know it happens a fair amount actually, but yeah, I don't know. I
They
Brittany
turned out to be like sugar mamas for them, pretty
pretty
much.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Mm.
this need for Britney to just be loved, and it's funny,
Mhm.
she's loved by so many people, but it's
Yeah.
that different
Mhm.
love. And of course,
Mhm.
she had the issues with her dad. So some
Yes.
people will say it could be like daddy issues as to for who, as to why she settles with who she settles.
Yeah.
But she seems like she's in a good mind frame now, if you follow her on Instagram or anything.
But the only thing I've noticed with her Instagram, of course, people will say, "Hey, Brittany, wear yellow tomorrow if you're calling out for help, if you're in trouble," and then she'll wear yellow and all that kind of thing. But when you look at her posts, the interesting way she kind of just sort of rambles on and answers questions,
Mhm.
and she's kind of always got really messy hair. She's not very polished like she used to be.
No.
Right. She's got like tons of like mascara and everything's her makeup's kind of fallen and
Trying
rubbed.
with this smoky eye. It's
But
the eye, like, when you go out to a party and
yeah.
you go to bed without cleaning your face and you
Right.
wake up the next morning and
That's
say, yesterday's
right.
eyeliner is today's smoky eye.
Yeah.
Well, that she's taken that to a whole new level because it
And
doesn't.
that's what people are saying, where it's like, Brittany, what are you doing? And then she just kind of starts dancing randomly and spinning around
Yeah.
and she's wearing kind of, sort of what she used to wear back more in the 2000s.
Yes, she's like regressing and
Yeah.
going back to the time when she was super loved. Like the
Yes.
time where Brittany was maybe normal or she felt normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too from watching it. It makes me kind of sad for her because she really was a talent. But the thing is, she had her residency in Vegas just only up till a couple of years ago. And she was doing well there.
Yep.
And I don't get this whole thing with her dad. I don't know what to think. Honestly, I don't know what to think.
This is what men do to us. They make us go crazy. They really do. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go there. Let's do it. Men make us go crazy and do things that we normally would not do, and that's out of character. May
Mm-hmm.
it be shave your head, may it be begging to be loved.
Mm,
Um, and you look at these two relationships. We talked about the J Rod relationship, then you got the Britney Spears. Um,
yeah.
Together, was there, some sort of abuse that was going on behind the scenes, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
The verbal abuse, that you're not good enough, you're not who people say you are,
Yeah.
and it seconds your worth, right?
Mhm, mhm. I wonder, I don't know where's Brittany's mom again?
You know what? I have no idea because you hardly ever hear from her. Um,
No.
I
I've
know
heard
the
didn't they have a rough kind of tumultuous relationship too when she was younger?
Yeah. So actually, as of right now, it's Lynn Spears.
Yeah.
She's actually avoiding a lot of questions when it comes to Brittany.
Huh. And so they just went back to court not too long ago again. And of course, the father was still granted this power over Brittany
Mhm.
moving forward. So even after all of this, the
Yeah.
whole free Brittany movement, it's clearly there are things we don't know.
No.
Like if the judge is saying this is what she needs, like to
Yeah.
be taken care of and financially, and I guess,
But does she have a voice though? Is she being heard, or is she just being told? And if they're drugging her up, right? There has been allegations that they have used medications for her.
sure.
Um, I mean, I can understand being on antidepressants. I was on antidepressants at one time for a short
Mhm.
time, going through
Mhm.
a divorce,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just know you're not really thinking clearly at that moment, no matter if you are on,
Mhm.
um, antidepressants or not. But if you look at her life and the way that it's kind of comes out the timeline, she's
Mhm.
had a lot of things happen, which
Mhm.
child stars, maybe that's the issue. I mean, she was on the Mickey Mouse Club,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yes, she was.
So
Yeah.
I look at the majority of people, the kids that have grown up, who
Mhm.
either was, Disney or Barney,
Yeah.
they look at them now, right? They've had
Yeah.
issues.
A lot of issues. And her sister, Jamie Lynn, right?
Mhm.
I kind of wonder if Jamie Lynn loves Brittany. You can tell they have a relationship, but I wonder if I was her sister and I really saw a problem, I would be fighting hard. And Jamie's not trying to save her. She's just
No.
being a sister. So I think maybe Jamie just thinks it's best where she is
Mhm.
too. But I don't know if that's again a father, listening to a very a powerful father figure that has maybe that control over both of them. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like, I mean, she did come out to say that she was medicated. Um,
Yes.
and at one point, I think they were playing around with her medication, and you
Mhm.
don't play around with your medication.
No.
And
Not with
I
that
think
stuff.
no, and they were, and you could see in her post because you could see in her face and her eyes,
Mhm.
she was drugged up.
Yeah, you could see that. I saw that.
And then that leads us to, was Brittany just burnt out? It
Yeah.
seems to be like, I know you're going to say it's like a trend word. It's a buzzword right now about being burnt out, but
Mhm.
was she just burnt out because of work?
Mhm.
You're a dancer, you know that the toll that it takes on your body.
Mhm. Mhm.
Was she physically drained?
Well, and that's the thing as an entertainer in general, right? To carry that load around. And I know you have a very strong work ethic as well, Tracy. As do I. And we will both work so hard at everything we do, all or nothing, all in, right? And I know I have been at literal burnout, like absolute burnout, right? And that happens.
Yep.
And so you can imagine when you're being pushed and you're traveling or whatever you're doing, those shows she was doing even in Vegas prior to that, when back in '07. Yeah, I mean, there is like where you just can't do it anymore. Right.
Yeah, I mean, just being physically drained. I mean, just from a regular day, oh my gosh. I mean, those are hard days. But like you
Mm-hmm.
said, when you're working the full
Mm-hmm.
day and you're working all night, you have your moments, even
Yeah.
if it's, I'm just mentally tired, or I just need to have a nap,
Yeah.
or I know I've gotten to the point where it's like, I don't even know if I want to do anything anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you do. And yeah.
You're burnt. You're physically, like, I'm talking,
Mhm.
there is nothing left in that tank.
I agree. Yeah,
Personal
I've had
life,
those days. Mhm. I can totally
personal
relate.
life, you
Hmm.
add in work, kids, your personal life, and
Mhm.
trying to be happy and paint that
Mhm.
smile on every single day, but give like a good balance because, not every day everyone wants to hear a rant, but
Yeah.
they're going to get it no matter what. But again, goes back to men. Damn men get us all the time.
Yeah. Well, I know that we both have that in our story, our
Yeah.
storyline where we've both been deeply impacted by at least one man.
Yeah. There's always one man that
Yeah.
can do it to you.
That
But
can take you
yeah,
out, right? And take you out. But you know what? We get back up. And I one thing I've learned along the way is that I'm a lot stronger than I realized. And I
yes.
cannot believe emotionally what I've gone through. And wow, you just keep going.
And then you
And
surprise yourself when
I
you
know.
look back because you think,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you go through something, the last thing you want someone to say is, "Don't worry. When one door closes, another one will open," or "You'll
Yeah.
get through it. Don't worry. You'll
Meanwhile, you're crying yourself to sleep every night.
yeah, you'll get through it. You're gonna look back and laugh." It's like, "Okay.
You're
Are
like,
you drunk? No." So,
right? Like I'm literally at the edge
you
of like I'm sure you can relate where there's been days where you could literally cry at the drop of a hat, like instantly cry. And no matter what anyone says to you,
I
because you're
could cry now.
crying.
I honestly could cry at any time
Yeah.
because, you just have so much stuff that's pent up. But
Yeah.
with with this whole Britney Spears thing, and we're talking about women, and again, we want the guys as well to go on our Instagram, post on our post that we're going to put up about basically relationships and
Yes.
stuff that's going on. I mean, yeah, that burnout, it's a real thing, no matter if it's physically, mentally,
Mhm.
emotionally.
Mhm.
It's hard. It's
Well, that's
hard.
why we've talked so much. We've talked about self-love on the show before too, because it's important for people. I mean, sometimes people don't take that terminology seriously, and a lot of times men just joke about it. But really, it is important to take a moment out of your day. I mean, many people don't have moments, and I know that you've seen like commercials or movies where like moms will go into the pantry and shut the door for a moment and just cry
Oh,
in the
yeah.
pantry just to get away from the kids for a second, just to breathe. Sometimes it's just just go to the washroom and breathe.
Mandatory. If everybody is going to survive this moment, it is mandatory that I just go away for a few minutes because you
Yeah.
have to refuel.
Or go out in the car,
Yeah. Just
turn on
listen.
the music.
I was going to say, but see, my music, when I get into that mind frame, it's like heavy metal, like thrasher music. And I'm like, "Ugh."
Right? Oh, have
I
you
turn
seen
it up a little.
that Netflix series with Christina Applegate?
Yeah. I
Dead
laugh
to
at
Me?
that part.
That
Dead
is
to Me, I think it's called.
dead to me.
Yeah.
Yes. She
I
goes in the
laugh.
car, heavy metal, and just cries and screams. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? The funny thing is, nobody questions anything if they're walking by. I could be in a full blown, like, I've got mascara and snot down my face, but then I feel it's like therapeutic. I
It
got
is.
everything and I'm not carrying it on to the
Yeah. It's
next
a
one,
release. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You
Get
gotta
it out. Get it out. Just make sure you have some extra backup makeup in your bag before you go into wherever you're going.
Oh, I've had those moments where it's like, "Oh, no, I forgot the eye makeup. I forgot the oh, no." I've been using, like, or you use hemorrhoid cream
Yeah.
underneath
Yeah. It's
to
the
help
under the
buff
eye
it.
thing. Yeah.
And they're like and then they're like, "Are you okay? You look tired." I'm like, "I'm exhausted."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm exhausted. Why are
That's
you
why I kind of like wearing masks these days because it covers a lot.
I push everything down like this and then put the
Okay.
mask up super high.
Get your mask. Oh, tell me people have not done that. Buy the biggest mask they can now. Put a hat on, some sunglasses. No one knows who you are.
I invest in really good mascara because that's all you will see.
Yeah.
And concealer, a little bit of concealer. But don't worry, guys. We got to take another quick break here at Life, Love, and Lipstick. Stick around. It's a little hormone talk coming up. Hey, welcome back to Life, Love, and Lipstick with Tracy and Leslie, and our talk will continue about burnout.
Mhm.
Yes, we were talking a lot about Britney Spears, and I asked you, like, do you think that a lot of her stuff is because she's burnt out, like physically, emotionally, like she's tapped out? And
Mhm.
they're saying that burnout, Leslie, is a buzzword. It's a go-to word.
Mm.
So, like that maybe it's just kind of an easy thing to say, "Hey, I have burnout,"
Like you think people are saying it when it's
or do we
you know,
just maybe
mm-hmm.
overuse the word burnout and that there's really no such thing.
Mm,
Really, burnout is defined as a state of physical or emotional exhaustion that also involves a sense of reduced accomplishment and loss of personal identity.
mm,
Um, I think burnout could mean a lot
mhm.
of things. But again, personal identity, I mean, that's something, it's kind of almost the theme of this
It is.
whole morning
It is.
because we're talking about J
Yeah.
Lo. Now, all of a sudden, she looks like a powerhouse.
Mhm.
She's getting her identity back.
Yeah.
We're talking about Britney Spears earlier. Did she lose her identity and she's trying to
Mhm.
find it and go back
I
to
feel
that
she
moment?
has.
Yeah,
I feel
of
she has.
self-love. That moment she actually liked herself.
Yeah. I think it's easy for people, particularly in, the situation that they're in, where they're these, superstars. And I think they're just constantly go, go, go. And, they have everybody just, groveling at their feet and, yes, ma'am, whatever you want, whatever you like. And then I don't think sometimes they don't even have a close friend anymore. They are just on
Mhm.
the road. They're doing their thing. They don't have that connection with anyone. They just have a lot of people, but maybe nobody that really they feel like they has their back, and it,
Point. People, we all have a lot of people, but
yeah.
do we actually have a friend or friends or a companion that actually listens to us?
Like Tracy, do you have a good somebody in your life that you can call right now, a friend,
Yes.
whoever that you can just really just spill it all?
Do you know what I do? I'm
Good.
lucky that way. It like 24/7, anytime. I
Yeah.
just send a message and that's it, which is good because that's really gotten me through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You know what? That's a big one that, as they say, I even tell my son that all the time, and he's only 12, but I always said to him, you don't need to have a lot of friends. You need to have one
Yeah.
good friend that's got your back, just like with parents. I mean, not every kid has two parents, but if that one parent that they have is their rock, they're going to be okay, right? Because they know that they're safe and someone's got their back. And I think everybody, doesn't matter how old or young you are, male or female, you need to have that one rock or you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it.
No, there are days where it's hard enough, just as they say, surviving the day
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
through the day. And then you have those moments. Sometimes it could be, we all have our trigger moments. It could be later at night.
Mhm.
It could be when you first wake up and you just have those moments where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to get through the day. I don't know if I'm going to make it through the night.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's always great to have somebody that you can call. And, then I sometimes wonder, like, man, are they going to get like fed up with me?
It's funny. I saw a quote the other day. I'm just paraphrasing, but it was something like, referring to your friend as being your free therapist, the one
Yes.
that doesn't get paid. But you know what? I have a friend like that too. And she's actually great. She wanted to be a therapist, so she's amazing. So she just does her thing. She just can take me down from here and just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
You do
good.
need that one person that will
Mhm.
hold your hand so that you don't jump, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
react. And that's one thing I've learned, not to react. Not every situation needs a reaction,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Just like when I may have like a quick mood change or I haven't slept at night. I like to remind people, you don't need to react, okay? Which are
Yeah.
triggers because, we talked at the top of the hour,
Mhm.
hormones, having
Mhm.
to admit that it could possibly be age.
Mm.
Oh man, I I'm noticing it a lot this
Mhm.
year.
Mhm.
Um, Things are not where I left them, say a year ago, maybe 2 years ago.
What
Just
things, Tracy?
there's just stuff that's just not sitting in places I had imagined they'd be sitting right now. Um, Things have gotten wider. My hips have gotten thick, as the kids say.
Okay, that is a thing. That is a thing.
Okay, so it's not just me.
Okay, no, when we're gonna have this
Yeah.
doctor, this naturopath doctor come on soon, but we're gonna talk to her about this. But apparently, the female body actually changes shape when you are going through, I guess, from perimenopause to menopause. Your fat distribution, it changes and goes more around your girth, and your hips can change.
Yeah, so I was complaining about this, and I thought maybe it's because I was doing a lot more walks lately because I'm limited as to what I could do for workouts,
Yeah,
and everyone's been walking. I'm
yeah.
like, look at this, I got a booty. Then I'm like, I got a hip. I have hips, right? And we're wearing a lot more tights or track pants. So when you're putting your jeans on,
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Mama got a bootay.
You know what? That's the thing. That's the test, because we have basically spent the last year in tights and track pants. You need, once in a while, you need to put those jeans on, because they
I'm
don't
over it.
give the same way
No.
that tights do.
No. So
Be able to do it with the button.
yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I mean, I will admit I've gained a little bit of weight. Quarantine 15, right?
Mhm.
But I can't imagine I've gained that much weight. And someone said, no, you're thick. You're not chubby. You're not fat. You're thick. Thick is in.
Thick as
I
in.
don't like the word thick.
Who does?
You don't want, the only thick thing I want is my hair. Okay. I died. Thick is in. Booties are in. I'm like, well, where did this come from? So it has to be hormones.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a hormone thing. And
Yeah.
how many, I've had friends lately, especially that one friend I was telling you about, where one day she just panicked and messaged me and said, oh my gosh, I think I'm pregnant, and by the time I got back to her, she's like, oh no, I'm not. But that's
Oh
a
my God.
perimenopause thing, right? Where you're one day, you have all the signs and symptoms of being pregnant that you're familiar with. She has 4 kids, right? And then you realize, oh no, it's actually just,
That's
my body.
terrifying when you're at a certain age. Okay. And
Yeah.
you're like, what? The last time I felt this tired, the last time I felt this.
This and that and all the, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then you add in the hips and being thick. It's like, oh, I think I'm
Right?
pregnant with twins. And then you just realize, no, it's probably the wine that, you have. That wine waste is a
Yeah.
real thing. So it's either hormones or it's a wine waste.
Yeah, wine waste. If people want to have a thick waist, drink lots of alcohol, because that's where it goes. It literally, Tracy, it is absolutely the thing. Your waist will widen, just your waist.
Yeah. There are things, like I said, they've moved.
Yeah.
They're not where they used to be, or they're just bigger.
Mhm.
And I'm noticing a lot more lines on my face.
Yeah.
And I know, drink more water, but
I know the water is a big thing. I don't know if it erases every line though.
No, I know. You know how much I bought every bottle that I could get, those big ones that you drink that whole gallon a day.
Yeah.
My face didn't puff up. It didn't get rid of lines. It just
Because it's
glowed.
also a collagen thing too, right?
Yes.
And of course, that's depleting as we're getting older. So, oh, this is a terrible conversation.
Oh my God. So I guess that's what we have to look forward to. So ladies, don't worry. Thick is in. I love it. Yeah.
That's.
I bet you a man came up with that word.
Thick.
Thick.
But I think having a booty and being
T-I-C-C.
thick, isn't that 2 different things? I don't know.
Well, THICC, thick.
Yeah, but that, I know it's supposed to be, but
Yep.
yeah.
Again, a
know.
man who couldn't even spell decided to add 2 C's into it.
Well, I know this is the thing, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, how much can you make your booty really go out?
Yeah. Well,
On your
yeah.
own.
Interesting that all of a sudden everyone's looking the same way lately. I don't know.
I know.
Is everyone going through hormones? I don't know.
I don't know. I think sometimes people lose their booty when they're going through their hormones too. It just flattens right out on them.
Like I
Pancake
said,
gum.
things have changed, not only in this world from this pandemic.
Mhm.
Things have changed. It's like a scavenger hunt some days. I'm just looking to see where I last put it, and it's moved about 3 inches down.
One thing, if we combine the whole hormonal thing and, the burnout thing, I think, everybody needs a little bit of something sometimes. One thing that I found during this whole past year with the pandemic, when I was just, my state of mind was just, oh my gosh, get me out of here, cabin fever and all of that, was just going outside. Literally go, I don't care how cold, I don't like the cold, but I would bundle up and just get outside for even 10 minutes. Literally just go for a walk. If you're feeling on the edge, go for a walk for 10 minutes, whether you want to put, your pods on or whatever, and just, listen to some music or a podcast. But if you do that, I guarantee you will feel better. It just takes off the edge.
Yep. And guarantee if you guys listen to our full show, you are feeling better about yourself, because that's what we do here at Life, Love, and Lipstick.
Yeah, we try. Because we're just normal girls too, just like, and we want, again, guys and girls to listen, because we can all learn from one another, right? And we're just normal people.
Normal people keeping the talk real. Head over to our Instagram page, chime in on a conversation, and don't worry, we'll be back very soon. See you later. Bye, Les.
Bye. Bye, Tracy.